Hey, it's your friendly neighborhood counselor, Dr. Will, and welcome to the Heal Always podcast, Wellness and Welcomes to You at All. I am so excited about this one specifically because this is about men's mental health. I, a man, is going to be talking about the things that we go through, the things that we experience, the things that we do go through, we shouldn't be going through, why are we going through it, and what happened? What is this, right? And so I am excited to talk about all that because the truth is that we have a lot of panels that talk about what men should be doing, shouldn't be doing, how men be going through things, how men aren't going through things, how, it's a lot. So we're going to talk about this on so many levels, but I'm also going to give it in my way, specifically because I refrained from speaking on other platforms because what I'm asking is for an emotional accountability. I'm asking for an emotional responsibility. I'm asking for a communal call for wellness. And so this talk is going to be very, very instrumental to your care. If you have a person that is a man and identifies as a man, they need to watch this because this is going to be a grounding, an anchoring, and it's also going to be a call to commitment for honoring the identities in which we have chosen. So let's get to it. First things first, you got your purpose paper, you got your purpose pen, you got your water. I have my favorite honey, and I got my favorite tea. This is a chamomile, and it's really, really great. I'm going to get a sip of this real quick, just real quick. Make sure you breathe with me real quick. So let's just breathe. hmm This means in, out, in, out. Good. So, I'm gonna start like an iceberg, right? We're gonna start at the top, and it's gonna get a little more complex, and then I'll wrap it back up. All right. So, on the surface, in this society that we're currently in, men have generationally been valued for their output, not their input. What this means is that growing up, especially as a boy, my life was based upon high achievement and obligation. So that even when I did do amazing accomplishments, I never really knew how to celebrate it because I was obligated to achieve them all. So I was like, we're celebrating, but I'm like, if I didn't, it would have been like World War III. So why would I not achieve this? Right. So there was a high demand of performance. And a lot of men go through this mindset where they are valued only by output. So that's having the financial income, having the emotional stability, environmental stability, so housing, having the ability to drive or to travel, having the look, right? The clothes, the gadgets, the things that show success in our society, right? Very capitalistic, very materialistic, very output behavior. And what that does is it creates this beautiful, beautiful shield that men can hide behind and feel like they are invulnerable or immortal because they have these structures and this system in place that honors the output of their life, not really considering what it's actually doing for other people in their life too. And so what I found is that a lot of men are typically, they find that their output is their identity. And then what that happens is when they find a partner, usually the partner is the input. And so they never take time on what the input is. So once again, output is performance, accolades, material structures or success or signs of status. Input is the way I think, feel, and believe, right? How I know myself, how I feel myself, right? How I know how I feel myself, how I be myself, right? Those things are input. And typically they'll find a partner In a traditional sense, they'll find either probably a woman that um, would honor that input part, right? But as society changes, we're realizing that men just don't have output, they have input too. And so our society is culturally stereotyped in a way that makes us feel like, oh, because I am masculine presenting, that I should just be more output, right? I have more leadership. The amount of times in my life going to psychological conferences, psych conferences, and like it's like a crowd of like 100 women, and I'm the only male that's there, and they just assume they give me leadership positions simply because I'm presenting male. I'm the guy, right? Um, and it's like I know I'm not the most qualified in this room. I know I'm not. Like, what? And so it's amazing how my presence automatically demands um status because of how how I am. So when it comes to men's mental health, we have to understand that a lot of men are dealing with the illness of output. And ask a man in your life, do you feel like you're doing enough? Understand how he answers that. And I'll also ask him this: how do you know when you're satisfied? When have you been in a relationship where you felt like you did everything that was needed to be done? When did you believe that you could be everything you wanted to be? If they have trouble answering those 4 questions, they're probably dealing with a type of men's mental illness. And I say it like that intentionally because men have this output factor that is so unrealistic. Manhood is hard to keep, easy to lose, right? I can do all the manly things in the world, but if I wear a pink towel, and somehow I lose my status as a man. Or, I have this beautiful hair that's very beautiful. And, you know, and the moment I walk into a room, I'm not sat with other men. Usually I'm sat in the middle between the women and the men. I'm always like, why am I in the middle? Why am I not with the men? Like I'll be working out and they'll be like, all right, y'all come over here, man. And they'll be like, they didn't choose me. I'm like, what happened? Right. And so we have this weird energy where it's like our output is not seen as it's not health. It's just not healthy. Right. And so you got to think about this generationally too, though, right? Men used to stabilize the home. They would provide the food and the money because the wages were more towards them. So all these things were given to them to support this imagery. Now that our society is changing and our economy is collapsing, we're learning that we don't have the same type of resource as we used to have. So what do we do to make sure this becomes something special, right? We have to understand that in this generation right now, men are beginning to have input, which is something that's so unreal right now. What's happening is that men are becoming more emotionally aware of what they want, what they don't want, and they're actually saying something about it. And a lot of people are mad that men are actually speaking up about how they feel about things because it goes against the output identity that we've been forced to stereotype. And so it's interesting that I see a lot of men. So there's a difference between masculinity and then, like we say, toxic masculinity. But in this situation, there's 3 types of masculinity. So there's positive masculinity, negative masculinity, and then abusive masculinity, right? Or we call it toxic nowadays, but it's abusive masculinity. Um, but that's another talk. We're going to talk about that another time. So when it comes to masculinity, those things are supposed to be healthy ones are supposed to be reinforced, right? And so I want to do this mental health topic for men a little differently. Instead of saying what men are doing, like I'll do this. All right, hear me out. I'm gonna say the things that everybody says. Men, it's okay to cry. Men, it's okay to feel. Men, it's okay to slow down and just be still for a second. It's okay to not know what you're going to be doing. It's okay to not be the most athletic person. It's okay to read a book. It's okay to get your nails done. It's okay to feel like you're crying and you're tired today. It's okay to have a bad day and to say it and say you don't want to be bothered. It's okay just to not go into work today because you're tired and you take a sick day off. It's okay to cook a dinner that you've never done before. It's okay to try something and fail at it. It's okay to walk away from a fight because you don't want to argue. It's okay to know that you're not loved the way you want to be loved. It's okay to know that you're not feeling appreciated and say that and see how people show up for you. It's okay to take time for yourself. It's okay to be alone. It's okay. All right? So we'll get that out the way right now. Now let's get into this work. If you want to be a valuable man, there are 4 things you must consider. Get your purpose paper, get your purpose pen. First thing, your presence is your power. Men showing up is a status. It's a very empowering moment. You do like the 100-man march, right? Your presence matters. So if you remove your presence, you are on the onset of becoming ill. Your presence means so much more than you realize. If output, the capitalism would make you say that your output's needed because you have to continue to put into society, right? Into the economy. Your presence matters because your time is the investment. So you have to ask yourself, how is time being honored for me as a man? That's the first thing, right? How is time being honored? Your presence matters. You being present, seen, it brings a type of leadership that doesn't need words. So you have to understand that your presence matters. I know you're tired. You showing up, you being seen, it changes our culture. It changes our entire community of your presence, right? That's the first thing. The second one, the product you offer. And I say it like this intentionally. So every person has something to give back to the world. You have to ask yourself as a man, what am I giving to the people that are around me? What am I giving to the people that are near me? What am I giving to the people that love me? What am I giving them? What am I teaching them? Because the product has to be something that people can use, but doesn't take away from you. Because of the output illness, right? We feel like if we're not sacrificing our wellness, we're not worthy. We always go beyond our capacity as men. A lot of us do. We don't realize that we actually have a short limit. So like you have to give something to people that you know you will not lose yourself in. I can give this to you and I know that I can still go get my own water. Right? So you have to know the product that you're offering. What is that thing? Right? So you have to understand that you need a product that you need to offer. Because the truth is that if you don't have a product, don't have this, they're going to take pieces of you away. There are so many good men that are so fragmented because of how they're torn, how they've been so quiet, how they have not raised their voice about things, how they don't like to cause conflict because they don't like arguing, and they just avoid the confrontation because they already understand that they're going to be disappointed. They already understand that it's going to be rejection. They already understand that there's no point because they know that they're not being heard. Men are so much more sensitive than people are putting out. Men are very sensitive. They're very much talking about things. So, like, but they don't feel like their voice is going to make a difference. So, what they're creating is the subconsciousness of hopelessness. And that's when we get into, life ending life, right? And it gets to that bad, right? And so, know the product that you offer to restore your integrity of self. Number 3, I don't know if I should say this one out loud. The only reason why I'm hesitating about this is just because I want to make sure that I'm being accountable with you. Um, no, let's do it. We'll do a little bit. We'll do a little bit. Um, for men's mental health, partnership is very important. Why I say that is because men are very companion based people. We are very we understand how relationships are developed on so many levels, but the problem is that we don't take the emotional weight of relationships. And this is something that I noticed, especially with women, is that they understand the dynamic of relationships. They understand, like, well, I'm not inviting my friend out because they did this and this is it. For a lot of men, it's like, you like fire trucks? I like fire trucks, right? They don't think about the emotional dynamic that's actually happening. So when I say partnerships, it's really important to talk about because the partnership, that emotional dynamic can take a lot of energy out of you. And sometimes you get so invested in partnerships, like if you go online, you play on the game and you're online and you're talking to people, you know, it becomes almost like a routine almost. Like it becomes so obsessive that you actually end up like being like addicted to things. Like you get addicted to like, well, I'm online, I'm playing with the boys online, I'm playing Call of Duty, you know, and then it's like they don't realize that that time and space actually like takes away from your family, right? So there has to be a balance. So like when it comes to partnerships, it's about balancing and it's about understanding like you have to make space for all the partnerships in your life. You just can't have routine conversations and just think that, oh, because I'm here and you're here, it's cool, it's whatever. There has to be some type of emotional responsibility in your partnerships. And a lot of times, a lot of men are so loyal and faithful to their boys that they forgot to be faithful to their actual partners. So like it's important to really take some time out to really think about how much time are you investing in your acquaintances, your friendships, your partnerships. You know, that does count. It does matter, right? And then lastly, for men's mental health, um, you know, this is going to be a weird one because I need to be clear that your emotions are yours, right? Um, protect your emotions, right? So for men's mental health, I really want you to understand you need to protect your emotions. We don't talk about this, but the amount of trauma that I hear about black men growing up, you know, with, having high strong mothers, having to be highly responsible at young ages, the adultification, the imagery of what it means to be like a man, right? Before I'm taught like taxes, I'm taught how to like play football, right? Like but, like, there's a reason why there's so many boys, playing football and because the coach is there. It's a strong male presence, right? Right? Know your people, right? Partnerships, that's a part of the partnership, right? You have a coach, right? Coaches are very important in our communities because they have a space where you can have healthy, objective fun and learning and discipline, but then also there's accountability to that, but then they don't actually check in on how they're actually feeling. I have a lot of, um athletes in high places that don't like the last form of their workouts is therapy. Like so they work out, they get their bodies all together, they're in the NFL now, they're in the combine working out, but then the last form of their workout is actually therapy. And so if you do not get to that stage in your life, you miss out on the next step of your physical improvement too, right? That's sports psychology, right? So it's important to understand that there is these 4 P's, right? Presence, product, partnership, and protection. Those are the four skills you need to really improve on to really be a healthy man, right? So let's just go back over it real quick. All right. So the first thing, presence. You have to make sure that your presence is intentional. A man's presence can change the entire environment of a situation. You have to know what matters to you and then be there. Your presence does matter. People do want to see you at the event. They want to see you at the space. They want to see you helping out. They want to see you supporting other people. Your presence matters so much. You matter so much. So ask yourself, how do I honor the time in my daily life with others? My presence matters. How do I want to show up? How do I want to feel seen? How do I want to be seen? What does my presence mean to other people? Side quest. What does my presence mean to other people? What does my presence mean to myself? Right? That's the first one. The second one, product. What is the product that you offer? So it's important to understand that there is a product that you need to offer as a man that does not compromise yourself. Once again, to the example, if I know that, hey, I can offer this and it's not going to cost me anything, then it's okay. It's okay, because then what it means is that I'm able to keep this going, because the output situation, it takes away the input that you actually have in your life. So you have to really protect your input by offering a product. So whether it's a skill, if it's a hobby, if it's a nurturing, if it's a group that you're creating, just offer something that you know does not compromise your own inputs, right? Next one, partnerships. Partnerships and people, right? Partnerships with people and places, right? So it's important to understand, what are the places that I normally put myself in the most? Am I in online gaming? Am I at the club? Am I at the library? Am I, you know, how are you sharing your companionship? And you'll realize that many men are actually very imbalanced as far as partnerships are concerned. Either they have high contact with so many people, or they have no contact with anyone and is very isolated. There has to be a balance. So it's important to understand that your partnerships are based upon companionship. So the question you should be asking yourself is, what are the partnerships that make me feel like I am who I am? And which partnerships make me not feel like I can be who I am? Right? Start writing those people out. Start writing those names out. Start planning with them, right? You have to plan your partnerships out. So plan your partnerships. And then lastly, protect your emotional core, right? Protect your emotions. When I say protect your emotions, I'm literally saying you have to give your emotions the chance to be expressed. You don't protect them by hiding them. You don't protect them by avoiding your emotions. You don't protect them by overriding emotions with a drug or a person or another thing, right? You have to protect your emotions by letting them be expressed. If you do not let them be expressed, what happens is you create emotional malignancies. And so it's kind of like a cancer, right? It can emotionally eat at you from the inside out. So it's important to understand that you can create emotional malignancies by not expressing your emotions. If you have any unresolved emotions, you will eventually put that out on other relationships or other people, or you will self-harm yourself by doing things to yourself that don't allow you to be your best version of self. Men's mental health is a very tricky conversation, and I could have went many different places, but I wanted to give you 4 different things that you can start that will help break down that illness that you probably are creating, because your life has been in a part of output and not input. So I hope that this conversation was short, brief, impactful, but also purposeful. Men, I need you to understand that your presence can create an entire world difference if you just allow yourself to offer, protect, and most importantly, know that you have people and partnerships that need you to exist with you. Um, Unfortunately, there are many things in our life, especially online, where you are we're seen as the enemy of all things created. We're seen as the enemy of all life created. We're seen as the enemy, and it's sad. It hurts to watch how angry people are at men. And we're entering a space where men are actually becoming more emotionally aware. But they don't know how to exist in this space because they don't know their presence, they don't know the product they offer, they don't know the partnerships, and they don't protect their own emotions by expressing them. So I want you to think about these things and know that you have a chance to change the narrative of your development. Be kind to yourself, and heal always.